welcome to another episode of Other Items of Interest. I'm your host, Jack Zablocki. This is about the 23rd take I'm doing of the intro, so I'm going to try to keep it short. This week we have Florida. Quite a few Florida stories. Florida man was very busy, up to his usual shenanigans and then some. So sit back, relax, have a cold one, put your feet up, enjoy. Right off the bat, Florida. From the AP, deputies look for naked thief who stole from Little League. Authorities in Florida are asking for the public's help in tracking down a man who they say burglarized a Little League concession stand wearing nothing more than a ball cap and gloves. He's a little underdressed for the occasion. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office say the naked burglar struck the stand at the Fisher Field in Dundham almost 2 weeks ago. Deputies say the burglar stole cameras and a cash box with $250 inside, and he caused $5,000 in damage. Surveillance video. Always surveillance video. Don't do stupid stuff. Don't do dumb shit. There's a surveillance camera. Surveillance video obtained by the Tampa Bay Times also shows the man taking a package of hot dogs. And here comes another one from the AP. Colorado TV tech charged after giving customer a bear hug. You ever been bear hugged? It's not pleasant. It's uncomfortable. Can't breathe. Feels like something's going to break. What the other person giving you the bear hug is thinking, I don't know. They're not pleasant. A Colorado television technician is facing felony charges for allegedly hugging a customer tightly. Karen Loos said that David Novinsky, a subcontractor for Dish Network, gave her a bear hug, pinning her arms and chest painfully as she was showing him out after he completed his work. The 70-year-old former sheriff's deputy said feared she might be raped. She said she pushed him away and told him to leave, and he waited a while and apologized before leaving. He is charged with trespassing and causing bodily injury to an at-risk adult. His attorney, Mike McCullough, said Novinsky often hugs people and gave Lois a 3-second hug before leaving. He said Lois didn't say anything about being injured when she called Novinsky's boss. McCullough said he will fight the charges. This one comes to us from WSVN.com. I keep thinking this is a Florida story, but it's not. Authorities say a customer at an Ohio restaurant pulled out a turquoise iguana from under his shirt, swung it around, and threw it at the manager. Police say the Madison man walked into Perkins Restaurant in Paynesville, about 30 miles northeast of Cleveland, on Tuesday. He lay down in a booth, threw a menu at a waitress, then threw the lizard at the manager who tried to talk to him. Authorities did not say what provoked the attack. Record show bond has been set at $10,000 for the 49-year-old Arnold Teeter. He's been charged with animal cruelty, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest. It wasn't clear whether he has a lawyer. Police say the iguana they named Copper has a fractured leg. Aw. So you know that story we just did about the man throwing an iguana at the restaurant manager? Well, that guy, his son wants his iguana back. This one comes to us from news5cleveland.com. 10-year-old son of man accused of throwing iguana wants his pet back. I don't think we've ever had a back-to-back story update. This is exciting. Paynesville police took custody of an iguana Tuesday after they say it was used as a weapon in an altercation at a local restaurant. Officials called her Copper and turned her over to the Lake Humane Society, but now the family, who says they are the rightful owners, want the iguana they've named Squirt back home with them. All I care is that I want Squirt back, said 10-year-old Connor Teeter. And let me tell you, Connor Teeter has the best quotes I've ever read in a news article. Connor says the iguana has been his pet since last year. I like creepy crawlies and lizards and stuff, so that's why I wanted him, and God gave me one, he said. Isn't that adorable? I think it's adorable. He was playing outside one day when he says Squirt just fell out of a tree. That's when he called his mom. He's like, can we have a pet iguana, please, please? And I'm like, sure, where did this come from? Said Samantha Pritchard. Connor has been keeping Squirt warm in a tank equipped with a heat lamp. His dad had been watching the reptile for about a week while his mom and siblings relocated after the breakup. The next thing they know, they see Squirt on the news. Arnold is in jail and squirts at the Lake County Humane Society, and I'm like, what? Said Pritchard. Arnold Teeter, Connor's dad, used squirt as a weapon inside the Painesville Perkins restaurant, according to police, and it was all caught on camera. In the video, you can see him walking in with the iguana on his shoulder. The cameras didn't capture him actually throwing the iguana, but does show him picking up the reptile by the tail and leaving. He was later arrested and charged with cruelty to animals. She does actually have a family that loves and misses her, said Pritchard. Right now, Squirt is being held at the Lake Humane Society. Authorities say she's undergoing surgery for a broken leg. I plan on going up there tomorrow and checking to see how the surgery went and everything to see if she's back by then, said Pritchard. Police say the judge will have to decide where the iguana goes. Connor is hoping it's back with him. He was a really loving, kind lizard, he said. Everybody's got the gender of this lizard confused, I think. It's been referred to as she and he, Copper or Squirt or whatever the thing's name is. Godspeed. And so it begins. Florida stories. This comes from WFLA News Channel 8 on your side. Road crew misspells school on crosswalk. And if you go to the show notes, you can see some video and a picture of the mishap. There's so little to this story. I don't know what this is it. That's it. That's the story. Here you go. A road crew in Florida should get an F for spelling. A motorist on Thursday spotted the error, realizing that workers in Doral had made a mistake when painting the word school at a pedestrian crossing in the road. Instead of SCHOOL, it was spelled SCOHOL. Do you see the mishap right in the middle there? The H and that first O, they got swapped. Are we clear? The city tweeted that the private contractor has now corrected its work. It's not clear how long the mistake was there in plain sight. And there you go, there you have it. They misspelled a school crosswalk sign and then they fixed it. I don't know if you can hear that, but their website's going crazy. So I'm just going to end this right now. And we continue with the parade of Florida stories. This comes to us from clickorlando.com. Florida man busted for singing dirty song to neighbor. There's a mugshot with this one. It looks a little like Danny DeVito in a strange way. On with the story. Perhaps next time one Florida man will stick to the classics when attempting to impress a woman with a song. Robert Mirabella, 62, was arrested Saturday after he played guitar and sang an original song to a woman he was serenading. What got him in trouble was that Mirabella was sitting on the woman's porch and the song contained words not normally found in friendlier tunes. According to the arrest report, Mirabella's lyrics contained phrases such as, "There's a neighbor who was a bitch, and I see her now, she's just a witch." Classy. The Smoking Gun reports the woman claimed to have ongoing issues with her neighbors in the villages just north of Orlando. For his part, Mirabella claimed that he may have sang the song in front of the woman, but it didn't mean it was about her. Mirabella was arrested for disorderly conduct and pled not guilty. Sounds like it could have been a lovely song. Out of context, that one line, that could be anything. From WFLA News Channel 8 on your side. I don't know how they say it there on their they probably have promos on the channel. They probably have a cutesy little way of saying, on your side. I don't know how it is. I don't feel like looking it up. So let's get on with the story. Pasco man impersonating officer pulls over undercover cop. Ain't that the luck? Pasco County man landed behind bars after he allegedly impersonated an officer and pulled over a real one, according to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Matthew Joseph Eris, 26, of Dade City, was arrested for impersonating a law enforcement officer and booked into the Hillsborough County Jail. Deputy said Eris had red and blue lights installed on his grill on Tuesday night. Where do you get that from? Can you get that off Amazon or something? Actually, I probably shouldn't talk about it, but I know a guy who's one of those guys who was way into law enforcement and emergency services. He bought a bunch of equipment off Amazon and would pretend to be one, trying to help out. Like nothing nefarious, nothing malicious, just I want to help out in my own sick, twisted way. Anyway, I don't think this guy was trying to help out. So he installed the lights on his grill, and then on Tuesday night he activated them and pulled behind an undercover detective. The detective called 911 to report an unusual traffic stop, and real deputies pulled over Eris a short time later. A search of a Chevy Trailblazer turned up a realistic-looking airsoft pistol, little pellet gun. Eris also had law enforcement light bar installed on top of the SUV, deputies said. Let's see if my voice can go out before the end of this article. It's slowly fading. He was arrested and later released on bond. Deputies say it's unclear whether Eris has committed events in the past. From fox5sandiego.com, cops claim mice ate half a ton of marijuana. That's a lot of marijuana, and that would have to be a lot of mice. The mice ate the marijuana was an excuse no more believable than the dog ate my homework for authorities in Argentina, where 8 police officers have been fired over the disappearance of around 1,200 pounds of pot. That's pretty much the article. The shortfall was noticed by the new police commissioner, who notified the Internal Affairs Division. In a hearing next month, the judge will try to determine whether the marijuana went missing because of negligence. I think we know why it went missing. USA Today notes, this is interesting, USA Today notes that although the Internal Affairs investigators in Argentina decided that rodents could not have consumed the missing pot, police in Wichita in 2013 said mice had managed to chew through evidence bags containing marijuana. Police in Colorado have been told they don't need to return seized weed even when it's legal. There's a bunch of weird facts at the end of this article. I don't know why I picked this one. Just the sheer amount of marijuana going missing and the claim that it was eaten by mice. It is pretty silly. That's a cartoon waiting to happen. A bunch of cartoon mice eating just this huge block of marijuana coming by every day just to eat a little bit. And then their antics. This is what happens when I get a story that I'm not that interested in. I just start talking. I sound like an idiot, I know. I don't really care at this point. So, on to the next episode. From the New York Post, man busted for stealing hundreds of gallons of cooking grease from Burger King. Gross. Police say a Central Virginia man made off with a whopper of a haul from Burger King. A whopper of a haul. Huh? You like that one? Hundreds of gallons of used cooking grease stolen. But he couldn't give police the slip and now faces grand larceny charges. News outlets report Alvaro Mendez Flores of Richmond admitted to the April 4th theft. Court documents state Mendez Flores backed up his box truck to the grease dumpster at the Annandale Shopping Center and used a hose to begin siphoning the used oil into a 1,600-gallon tank. Cooking grease can be used to make biodiesel fuel. Grease thefts have increased as biodiesel prices have risen. Police noted 6 such thefts in Fairfax County over the past year. Mendez Flores told police he would get paid 25 cents a gallon for the stolen oil. This one is just a bunch of malarkey. Bunch of nonsense. Comes from yen.com. Ugandan president wants to ban oral sex. Says the mouth is for eating. Yeah, nothing else. Just eating. No breathing, no talking. Use that mouth for eating. Throw you in jail. It gets worse. He has worse ideas. We'll get to them. The president of Uganda has said he wants to ban the nation's citizens from practicing oral sex because the mouth is for eating. President Yoweri Museveni blamed outsiders for trying to convince Ugandans to perform oral sex on one another. Who's doing that? What outsiders? And said he was issuing a public warning about it. He told press, "Let me take this opportunity to warn our people publicly about the wrong practices indulged in and promoted by some of the outsiders." Is outsiders like a term for a group of people that aren't from the outside, really? Like the gays, maybe? I think this guy might be a little prejudiced. One of them is what they call oral sex. The mouth is for eating, not for sex. "We know the address of sex. We know where sex is," he said. I'd like to have that address. Can you write it down for me? Museveni signed the Anti-Homosexuality Act. There it is. The Anti-Homosexuality Act in 2014, making it illegal to be gay in Uganda. That's scary sounding. I don't like that. People are going to get hurt. Ugandans risk life imprisonment if they are found to be having regular gay sex. The act also made it a criminal offense not to report someone for being gay. Well, that's just absurd. It's all absurd. In 2014, after introducing the law, Museveni said oral sex could cause worms. That's right, worms. Here's the quote. "You push the mouth there, you can come back with worms and they enter your stomach because that is a wrong address." He's hung up on this address stuff. In January, he said he regretted his decision to halt the country's practice of executing criminals. That's a decision you regret, killing people. Not killing people, I guess. So that's all the news from Uganda for this week. Man tried to consume skeletal remains found in Conception Bay South, sources say. ChronicleHerald.ca. Sources say a man charged with possessing stolen skeletal remains from a Conception Bay South cemetery last week was arrested after he allegedly attempted to boil the bones and drink the water. Lucas Daw 20 made his second appearance in the provincial court in St. John's Thursday morning, where his case was postponed for a week in order to allow him time to find a lawyer. The details of the allegations against Daw have not yet been presented in court, but documents indicate he is charged with possessing a skeleton stolen from All Saints Parish on April 5th, as well as interfering with human remains on the same day. Daw is also facing a charge of breaching a court order. Sources told the Telegram the remains came from the Anglican Parish Cemetery and belonged to a person who died a significant time ago, possibly more than 100 years. Sources also say the man was arrested after a witness allegedly saw Daw licking the bones. The bones aren't connected to any missing person cases, considering they are over 100 years old. I wonder what his overall goal was, what he was trying to accomplish by consuming these bones, by either boiling them into broth or by licking them. Was he going to get superpowers? Or what? What was the deal? I wish they would touch on this. Maybe it'll come out in court. Maybe we'll have an update. Who knows? In the meantime, I'm going to go look for some 100-year-old bones. From KPLC, Channel 7, NBC, I don't know what city it's in. Myrtle Beach, maybe? Myrtle? I don't know. 84-year-old man arrested, accused of shooting at geese from living room chair. I mean, if you got the shot from the chair, why get up? Right? A North Myrtle Beach man was arrested over the weekend for allegedly shooting at geese outside his home. On Saturday, police found the suspect, 84-year-old Furman Clark Price, sitting in his living room, according to a police report. Police say they cleared the residence and found a .22 caliber rifle in the kitchen. A witness said she heard several gunshots and saw Price shooting at geese in a public parking lot across from his home, the report states. According to police, a goose was found dead in the parking lot from an apparent gunshot wound to the chest. How do they know it wasn't another goose? That's been a climbing problem, goose-on-goose violence. So I've heard. Price reportedly told police he was tired of the geese coming on his property and defecating. The suspect also stated he wanted to get rid of them or scare them off and admitted to shooting at the geese while sitting in his living room chair. Goose shit is pretty bad, but I don't know that you need to kill the geese to make them. Get one of those plastic owls. Do those work? You get the plastic owl and you put it on the roof. Does that work for geese? It's too late to find out now. The goose is dead. Price was charged with discharging a firearm within the city and 2 charges filed under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. He was released Sunday from the J. Reuben Long Detention Center on $1,090 bond. Excuse me. This is the second story I've had to read with the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. There was that one guy who decided to brag about attacking a pelican on Facebook, I think. I think that's what happened. Anyway, he jumped on a pelican and was trying to fight it, but the pelican got away. I think he was bragging about it, and he was arrested, of course, and he was charged under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. The more you know. From 1011now.com, KOLNKGIN, Nebraska. Giant pothole may have saved Omaha man's life. Everyone complains about potholes popping up in the spring. I'm not going to read this. Ambulance came to save a 59-year-old man with a racing heart at work. He had no history of heart problems. They had a 20-minute drive to the emergency room, and at one point the patient's heart was beating at a rate of 200 beats per minute. During the 7-mile ride, the rig hit a pothole. Medics told the hospital, as relayed by the Omaha Scanner on Twitter, that the jolt of the pothole converted the patient's racing heart to normal rhythms. It's rare, but it's a well-described phenomenon, Nebraska Medicine's Dr. Andrew Goldsweig said. He wasn't the physician on the case, but nobody cares. One way to treat that is with an electrical shock. Classically, you see it on television. The paddles clear and a big jolt. Turns out that you can do that with a pothole. They won't tell anybody where the pothole is to preserve the patient's privacy. I think that's sweet. And we have the coup de grace of the show from sfgate.com. San Francisco. They want you to know people are pooping more than ever on the streets of San Francisco. And this is where you'll want to check the show notes for links because there's plenty of pictures and charts and graphs. One of America's wealthiest cities has a huge problem with public poop. Between 2011 and 2018, San Francisco experienced a massive increase in reported incidents of human feces found on public streets. In 2011, just over 5,500 reports were logged by the San Francisco Department of Public Works. In 2018, the number increased. I'm still giggling, I'm sorry. The number increased to more than 28,000, and that's 2018. The government watchdog opened the books, documented the sharp increase over time in a stunning chart, first spotted by the BuzzFeed editor. So yeah, there is a chart, human feces incidents by year in San Francisco, and it starts at 2011 with about 5,500 cases. Next year it goes up about 1,000. Next year it goes up about 2,000. And we have a pretty steady increase until 2017. We're all the way up to 20,000 incidents of street poop. The year before that, in 2016, 18,000. But from 2017 to 2018, we jump 8,000 units of street poop from 20,000 to 28,000. That is unacceptable by any standard. No. The article goes on to basically say they're working on it. The city employs a poop patrol that attempts to keep the streets clean. So if you go to San Francisco, watch your step. And there goes another episode of Other Items of Interest. I was your host, Jack Zablocki. I hope you had a grand old time. Come visit us online at otheritemsofinterest.com. Visit us on Twitter at Other Items. Just those two words, Other Items. And we'll see you next week, folks. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Bye bye.